Hey YouTube, we're out here on the 100-yard range again. I've got a Modlite PLH V2 with a Molicel P28A, and I've got a SureFire mini turbo. This is their thrower dual fuel. The reason I chose to compare the mini turbo and the full-size Modlite is the Modlite has literally the same weight. Now the SureFire does include a mount in its weight, but they both weigh 5.1 and 5.0 ounces, with the Modlite actually having the advantage, both with battery. However, the SureFire is half an inch shorter. On a weapon or even on a handheld for most people, that's really not a big deal. Anyway, here's our Modlite. 100 yard, 2/3 Ziptic steel, 3 meters apart. And here's our SureFire. Very similar. SureFire has less spill and more throw. The spill intensity of the two lights appears similar, with the Modlite PLH V2 having a larger sphere of spill. Got a deer over here, several of them. Check that out with the SureFire. Switch over to the Modlite. SureFire again. Modlite's on the right, SureFire is on the left. All in all, I'm really impressed with the SureFire. I didn't expect it to really hit as hard as it does, given that it's 650 lumens. However, I have measured from this here Modlite on the right, I have measured about 70,000 lux, and the SureFire punched out at an even 100 to 105,000 lux. On a CR123 battery, this is a dual fuel. That SureFire was hitting exactly 55,000 lux, which is exactly what SureFire says it should be doing. So yay for my calibration device, and yay for SureFire's truth in advertising. And I wanted to make a little note about 18350 batteries. You shouldn't discharge them too low, bad for them. SureFire ships with a protected battery, should keep that from happening. However, I ran down an 18350 to see what kind of discharge protection the SureFire had, and it got down to moon mode levels at about 3.2 volts. That is well above open circuit, the voltage that you will begin damaging an 18350 at. So you can run your 18350s with impunity and not worry about damaging them unless you use this light in moon mode a lot, which you conceivably could damage them like that, because I'm not aware of how SureFire would do over discharge protection on a 1-cell dual fuel light, just due to the physics of that. So keep that in mind, but you should be fine as long as you stop using the light when you get into the, hey, I could probably use it as a map light territory. Here it is with a CR123. And you can tell it still has a ton of punch. Our deer have moved on. Oh, maybe, yeah, I think they've moved on. And here's the Modlite. You can tell it's definitely not competing with the Modlite in CR123 versus 18650 mode. That's a pretty stark difference, but it still punches out there better than any other 1-cell light that I've seen. The Malkoff E1 Hyperthrow might compete with it, but I don't think so. I've owned one, and I would say that this SureFire, it's heavier, it's larger, but it does hit harder. Just for old time's sake, here's a KE1F. This is SureFire's 300 lumen Scout, and it was the best throwing of their mini Scouts in my opinion. Much larger beam, much less throw. I chose to compare this because a lot of people were asking for it on the forums. They said, hey, we use these as handhelds. We want a comparison to see if it's worth changing from our old SureFires to this. So I'm doing that for those guys. They're over on Candle Power forums, and that's kind of where I got started messing with LED lights. So shout out to you guys. You're awesome. I still have the little leather keychain quality and reliability as a way of life tag that somebody made for me. Still have it. Like a dozen vehicles later, that's still on my keychain. Special place in my heart for you guys. And back to our new SureFire Turbo Mini dual fuel. Again, I swapped out to the CR123. That's why our output is what it is. Long story short, with the built-in mount, the dual fuel capability, this thing really is going to punch into the market, I think. People trust SureFire. They're known as a flashlight company. Laser Products is where they got their start. And Modlite, Cloud Defensive, a lot of new companies have come in, and they've got some great products. But I think people are going to start considering SureFire again. Even the people that really want the high candela, newest, latest, and greatest whiz-bang stuff, this is it. The Cloud Defensive Rain 3.0 is the only product I have tested so far from an American company that competes in throw. And this is inarguably smaller, and for less money it comes with its own mount. You can buy these. The street price of them appears to be $2.99 plus shipping. That gets you into the SureFire world of switches, and everybody makes certain attachments for the switchology here with a DSOO cap, and you can just go wild with different pressure pads and clickies and angled buttons, and really think this is going to be one of the products that kind of put SureFire back on the map, so to speak, for the people that left them for the higher candela, newer products. And like I say, my first LED flashlight was a SureFire. It was a 6P LED. It was a glorious shade of anemic, sickly purple, and it would barely illuminate, 30 or 40 yards out. But it was LED, and that was the thing back then. I think it had 80 lumens, as I recall, and back then that was pretty hot back in the day. So I've dumped our 18350 battery back into our SureFire here. Sorry, we're gonna end the video with another shot of that, just so you can see it again. This thing hits really hard. The spill is very usable. It's not quite as much spill in size as our Modlite produces, but the Modlite doesn't really compare with throw. Now, I've had OKWs. People are going to say, why don't you compare this to the OKW? I've had them, and this would kill it. This has more throw. The only light I've got that is American made that competes in throw is the Cloud Defensive Rain. And on paper, the Rain beats this. Functionally, I would say they're the same as far as throw goes. Without looking through a magnified optic and really getting nitpicky, they're roughly the same. So anyway, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this comparison as much as I enjoyed making it. And I hope that it completely muddles you and makes decision making harder. Y'all have fun out there. Be safe.